Good evening, students. Hope you had a very good time with all three subjects. So I have come with physics. I like to share the blueprint of physics. I want to write the blueprint so that much impact would be there on you. So I interact the blueprint with respect to the chapters. Okay, so we have all 14 chapters. So all chapters, we say it is important to study with. Uh, so with this motivation of studying all chapters, I also insist the chapters which has high weightage of marks, and there is a method of studying physics. All say physics is very difficult subject. I recommend, I motivate you all that physics is not a difficult subject. When you practice physics for so many times, obviously subject becomes easy. Okay, we don't ask derivations, MCQ, 2 marks, 3 marks problem, which is out of the syllabus, so out of the topics which you have to study. So we ask things within the topic. Okay, so first of all, we have the first chapter with us, that is uh, electric charges. Electric charges and fields. And in this chapter, uh, there are many derivations, like derivation for electric field in a axial line as well as equatorial line. So electric charges and field. Okay, so in this particular chapter, uh, you have two derivations, that is regarding axial line and equatorial line. At the same time, you have Gauss law and its application. Okay, so for 5 marks, you can expect one of the derivation, one of the application of Gauss law. Okay, and there is one more chapter. I will just get into the second chapter also, because there are probabilities of 5 mark derivation or probability of asking 5 mark numerical. So second chapter, that is electrical potential and capacitance. So in these two chapters, there are questions for 3 marks. Compulsory one 3 mark is there. Compulsory there is one 3 mark from both the chapters. Okay, and for 2 marks, very less probable, they are not asked for 2 marks. And for numerical, that is they ask either from electric charges and field or electric potential and capacitance. See, if they ask derivation from the chapter electric charges and field, they don't ask problem on that chapter. If they ask derivation from electric potential and capacitance, they don't ask numerical from electric potential or and capacitance. See, you have to think in this way, that if they ask problem from first chapter, they will not ask derivation. If they ask derivation from problem from second chapter, they might not ask derivation from the second chapter. Okay, but 3 marks compulsory. See, the marks allotted for electric field and charges, it is like 10 to 11 marks, and marks allotted for electric potential and capacitance, it is from 10 to 11 marks. It is the probable marks. I'm like, you can take it as an, they might stick to 10 or they might stick to 8. Sometimes see our blueprint, usually blueprint they follow for mathematics and other subjects. For physics it's very difficult. From 3 years there is, whether there is no, I cannot assure you that 100% they follow blueprint. This you have to keep in mind, students. Once again I am telling you, blueprint for physics is very difficult. We predict, that's it. It is not that because I said 100% they believe it on blueprint and they give exactly what blueprint they have given. Till now they have not followed it. Board has not followed till now, but approx on an average they do it. Okay, so this is on the basis of the previous question paper we discuss things. You should make sure. So for 5 marks, either they ask from the first chapter or second chapter. Again, for numerical they may ask from one first chapter or second chapter, depends. Okay, so 3 marks compulsory they'll ask. They ask the properties of charge or the properties of what is that, electric potential, or they might ask the properties of electric field lines. Probable questions, this is on the basis of past question paper. And 3 marks for electric potential, that is electric potential due to a point charge, that is there, they might ask. Okay, they have asked in couple of question papers. So this is the scenario from chapter 1 and 2. So 5 mark derivation, if they ask from first chapter they might not ask problem. If they ask 5 mark derivation from second chapter, they might not ask problem from second chapter. Okay, but surely one problem will be there from either from this charge, from these chapters. Okay, so third chapter, the third chapter, that is third chapter, that is current electricity. Very very important, very very important chapter, that is current electricity. Current electricity. Okay, this is chapter is for 13 marks. Usually they ask this chapter from 13 to 14 marks. See some the marks what I allot might, if you count the marks for 5 marks, see the rest marks are for MCQ and fill in the blanks I have not dealt with. So MCQ, the earlier they were asked for 1 mark, the 1 mark could be converted as MCQ. So the definitions, the conditions, the formulas, the dimensions, they are asked as MCQ, as well as fill in the blanks. So in this chapter, current electricity, usually we the blueprint says that it is asked for 13 marks. The weightage of the chapter is 13 marks. So one 5 mark derivation is compulsorily asked. So 5 mark derivation, 5 marks, one derivation is asked. Okay, and they ask for 3 marks. There is one question for 3 marks. 3 marks, 3 mark, one question is asked, and for one numerical is asked. Okay, one is asked, compulsorily asked. It is there is no choice in it. Okay, it is a high weightage chapter, and I recommend everyone to study this chapter thoroughly. Okay, there are a couple of chapters now. See, first 2 chapters, current electricity, and one more chapter is there. If you study these 3 chapters, I will assure you that you will score more than 20 marks. Okay, including MCQ as well as fill in the blanks. Okay, so this is about the status of current electricity, and you know this chapter is very very important for your competitive examination also. I will stress this because so that I hope all are writing on competitive examination also, very important. Okay, board point of view as well as competitive point of view, this particular chapter is very very important. So 5 marks, what they can ask, they can ask for the derivation of cells in parallel. Okay, capacitance in parallel. So the lengthy derivations they might ask for 5 marks. They might ask the derivation for conductivity. What they will ask for 3 marks, you can expect drift current, so drift velocity. Okay, so they might ask this kind of question. They might ask cells in series, cells in cells capacitance in series. Okay, you should know when you are studying the they ask where the mark distribution is easy for them to give, right? So that way you should know this will be asked for 3 marks. So we also have hurdles of giving how to distribute marks for if they ask 5 marks for a short derivation, the distribution becomes hurdle, becomes difficult. You got it? So I recommend you to study this current electricity thoroughly, so that you can encounter all the questions asked. Okay, the remaining questions will be asked in terms of MCQ as well as fill in the blank. One MCQ will be there from the chapter. Okay, and numericals, what kind of numericals they are going to ask? They are going to ask about the current, that is I is equal to E divided by R plus small r. So many years question papers which I see this particular questions, they might not ask direct. So some kind of what is that, tricky questions might they might ask. Okay, so basically they ask the current flowing in a curve, that is I is equal to E divided by R plus R. So I am stressing on this problem so that such that it was asked in the past question papers. Okay, moving to the next chapter, that is uh, moving charges and magnetism. Moving charges and magnetism. Okay, this is the marks weightage for this chapter is 11 marks. 11 marks. So here this chapter also very important. Why? You have two important derivations and you can expect one derivation. That is, sometimes if they ask magnetic field due to a circular coil, uh, they might not ask the force per unit length due to a parallel conductor. If they ask parallel conductor, they might not ask this. So you can, within this two derivation, one derivation is compulsorily asked. You can give 10 stars if you want. This particular question is there in all the, one of the question is there in all the question papers. Okay, so expected question for 5 marks. So 3 marks they might ask one, they might ask one questions. 3 marks they might ask one question from this chapter. And for 2 marks, 2 marks they ask one numerical. They may ask one numerical for 2 marks. And uh, rest of the things they may ask for the MCQ. In MCQ there are some conditions. When you start this chapter, they say about the force on a charge, that is F is equal to QB sin theta, and one more is there, that is F is equal to BIL sin theta. So they, in that there are some conditions. If theta is equal to 0, when it is maximum, when it is minimum, these kind of questions they might ask for MCQ. So I stress on this also. So these are the important areas for the chapters. Okay, so here derivation is asked, there is no numerical, because already derivation is asked for 5 marks. They might not ask for numerical in this chapter. So numerical will be asked for either for 3 marks or 2 marks. There is also probable area. Okay, according to the blueprint. Okay, again I'm saying, blueprint for physics I will not guarantee you for 100%. It is probable. Till now they have not followed it. We every year we stress on it, but still they have not followed it. But on the basis of question papers as well as blueprint, I am recommending these areas, important areas. So the next chapter what I want to uh, put up is, that is magnetism and matter. Very small chapter. magnetism and matter. Here you can the weightage of the chapter is 5 to 6 marks. Here straight away they will, you can just uh, take up this particular question, that is for 3 marks. 3 marks, they ask one question, that is straight away they'll ask the properties of ferromagnetic material, properties of diamagnetic material, properties of paramagnetic material. Write three properties of diamagnetic material. So straight away they have asked in all the papers, and this time also they might ask. So be ready with the answer. And rest of the questions they might put in MCQ. Okay, in terms of MCQ they might ask. Okay, so this is the weightage for the chapter. The next chapter what we have is the electromagnetic induction. So this chapter marks weightage is 7 marks. Electromagnetic induction. Okay, so here this is for 7 marks. Okay, so here one 3 mark question they will ask. They will not ask for 5 marks. For 3 marks we have one question. For example, they may ask what is motional EMF. Usually in all question paper this question is there. So this time also they might ask. Or they might ask Faraday Henry experiment, coil experiment, coil magnet experiment. Okay, in one question paper they had asked for 3 marks. Okay, so they might ask either motional EMF or Faraday Henry experiment, that is coil experiment. There are 3 experiments actually: coil magnet, and coil with the tapping key. So coil magnet was asked once. Okay, so this year you can probably you can study these 2 questions for 3 marks. They might ask. And in this chapter for 2 marks there is a problem asked. There is a one numerical NP. I write N bar P, so that numerical problem asked for 2 marks. Okay, so in one more thing, that is for MCQ there is no rule to ask problem, students. So they will not ask problem for MCQ. So you can expect either in 2 marks or 3 marks. If they ask, the problem will be very simple. So this 2 mark problem also will be very simple. Just to find the what is that, E is equal to, I will tell you one formula. E is equal to minus L di by dt. You have to find di, or EMF you have to find. All the parameters will be given. You should know the formula, substitute and get the answer. So no 5 marks. uh, Okay, so 3 mark one question, 2 mark one question, that's it. So other questions you can expect in MCQ. So after that, the next chapter what I have is, that is electromagnetic waves. Electromagnetic waves. So here they might ask for 2 marks, 2 mark one question. The chapter weightage is just 3 marks. 3 marks. So 2 marks they might ask define displacement current, give the expression for it. Or they might ask give the expression for Ampere Maxwell equation, explain the terms, for 2 marks. Okay, so this particular chapter has low weightage, that is for 3 marks only. They might ask, neither they might ask for 2 mark the what is that, the properties of X-rays. Okay, so such kind of questions will be asked. Very small chapter, it carries only 3 marks, minimum marks. Okay, after that, electromagnetic waves, the chapter what we have is alternating current. So this is also one of the nice chapter, alternating current. This is asked for 7 marks. The marks weightage For alternating current is 7 marks. But what beauty this chapter has is, one numerical is asked, compulsorily asked. 5 marks, one numerical is compulsorily asked. Okay, you can, if you study this alternating currents problem, you can easily solve in the examination. See, they might ask what, like, no, solve for excel, solve for xz, solve for z. No, simple question, simple problem it is. In all question paper you have a problem on alternating current. I recommend you to thoroughly solve all the problems from the past question paper, so that you can solve the problem if it comes in the examination. Okay, so this is about alternating current. So 5 mark one problem, as well as the other questions in terms of mcq. Okay, so in this chapter you need to study 5 mark and one 3 mark. No, it is, last year it was asked. Other than last year, we did not have any questions for 3 marks from the chapter. That is for 3 marks. They ask a question, that is, when what is that, determine the current when ac source is connected to resistor, and determine them in the phasor diagram, or show that current leads voltage. Now current lacks voltage when it is connected to, when source voltage is connected to resistor, inductor, capacitor. So three derivations are there. They might ask for 3 marks, one questions they might ask. So alternating current, one problem is compulsorily asked, and according to past question paper, one question for 3 marks. Okay, this is about alternating current. So then comes your ray optics. So this is also very very important, ray optics and optical instruments. So this second volume of the what is that, physics, that is ray optics, ray optics and optical instrument. Okay, so one more chapter I go with along with that, that is wave optics. Wave optics, they go together. So this is ray optics and optical instrument, you can expect 9 to 10 marks, and wave optics you can expect 2 to 7 marks. Okay, so this, from ray and wave, one numerical will be asked, numerical problem will be asked. uh, Not in both the chapters, one either from ray or optical wave, either from ray optics or wave optics, one numerical is asked. Okay, one 3 marks question is asked, one 3 marks compulsory will be asked, one 3 marks question, one 3 marks question will be asked. Okay, and from this two chapter, either from one chapter one derivation will be asked, one derivation will be asked. Okay, you have many derivations from ray optics. No, you can mention, see what derivation can be asked from ray optics. Usually from past question paper, they have asked relation between n, u, v, r, or they have asked in 1 year, they have asked the lens makers formula. 1 year they have asked the deviation, that is the minimum deviation of a prism. Okay, one of the derivation asked probable, the what is that, mm, more affinity towards ray optics and optical instrument. Okay, wave optics, earlier they used to ask, because Young's double slit experiment was there. No, beta, you were finding for beta and all. No, there were many derivations. Now they have deleted most of the concepts, and you cannot expect such question for 5 marks there. They might ask, if at all they ask, they might ask the theory of interference. Two questions might be asked together. What is that? What is interference? Give the theory of interference, as well as they might ask you to write the condition for constructive and destructive interference. Okay, they might collaborate two questions, and they might ask you to write. That is for 5 marks. So problem they might ask, they have problems, wave optics has problem. Okay, so problem, if they ask for optics, they will not ask derivation. If they ask problem from wave optics, they might not ask derivation. So you should be ready for one problem, that is either from ray optics and or wave optics. And 3 mark question. Earlier in the past question paper, they used to ask, that is the two lenses in contact. No, find the power when two lenses are in contact for 3 marks. So there is one more probability this year, according to latest blueprint. That is one numerical problem they might ask, according to latest blueprint of physics. Okay, this one question, either they might ask in terms of the derivation, that is for power. Okay, or they might ask one numerical problem for 3 marks. Cannot predict. Okay, so weightages are there for both the chapter. I recommend you to study both the chapter thoroughly, because derivations are there, at the same time problems are also there. There is no what is that, I cannot guarantee you 100% about the problem as well as this derivation, but see the past question papers. Okay, so most probability percentage moves towards ray optics, according to me. So first you finished ray optics, study thoroughly the ray optics, then come to wave optics. That is my suggestions to you, dear students. Okay, so problem will be very straightforward. Only thing, the formulas you should know. Okay, where, when, and you should know to analyze the problem. Once you know to analyze the problem, automatically you will do well. Okay, for chapters. So after moving off from the ray optics and the wave optics, the next chapter, the theoretical chapter. Now, which and all chapters I'm saying, the weightage is less theoretical. Those who don't like mathematics, they can go with these chapters. So dual nature of light. Okay, dual nature, and dual nature of light. Okay. So in this chapter, the weightage for this chapter is 5 to 6 marks. Okay. So 3 mark one question, and 5 mark one question. 5 mark one question. See, from the second volume, there will be two questions, probable one from ray optics and wave optics, or one from dual nature. So what are the questions asked in 5 marks? They might ask, write the observation of photoelectric effect. Okay, this is the probable question from the chapter. There are 5 to 6 points. Study all these 5 points. Okay, write it. And for 3 marks, they might ask, what is that, Einstein kinetic energy, write the expression, explain the terms. So these are the possible questions, probable questions asked from the chapter dual nature of light. This is for 5 to 6 marks. Okay, one MCQ will be asked from the chapter. Okay, so though it is theoretical, MCQ might be little difficult. So there are graphs. So they might ask the definition of photoelectric effect. Okay, the experimental observation of photoelectric effect, purely theoretical, and the MCQs might be on the graphs. Okay, there are 3 4 graphs. The MCQ they might ask on the basis of the graphs. So you should know to handle it. The next chapter what we have is the atoms. Okay, atoms. So this chapter is a small chapter, hardly 3 to 4 marks. Okay, so 1 3 marks you can expect. One question, 3 marks. Okay, or they might ask for 2 marks also, or one question for 2 marks, either for 3 marks or 2 marks. Expected questions, atoms. Okay, so this is the weightage of the chapter atoms. So we don't have any derivations in this chapter, so everything is theoretical here. Okay, so they might ask the definitions, they might ask some postulates of the chapter. Okay, so the next chapter we have is nuclei. Okay, it the weightage of the chapter is 4 marks. Okay, now in this particular chapter, one problem is asked, numerical problem for 5 marks is asked. Earlier also they used to ask one problem. So this year also they are going to ask one problem. Please make a note of it. From the chapter nuclei, you can expect one problem. Earlier, it was a mandatory to ask the problem, but due to these years, now they are may or may not ask. But this year they might ask. Okay, one problem will be asked. Okay, from the chapter nuclei. Then comes the last chapter, that is semiconductor. This chapter carries 8 marks. My dear students, I tell you that you can score 8 out of 8 from the chapter. For 2 marks, they ask, I'll tell you the question itself. For 2 marks, they will ask, write the difference between P type as well as N type. Write the difference between intrinsic and extrinsic. These are the questions asked. I am saying on the basis of past question papers. And for 5 marks, there is one question. For 5 marks, there is one question, that is derive or explain full wave rectifier. It is asked in all papers. You can put 10 stars to these particular questions which I have told from the chapter semiconductor. Okay, so semiconductor, they will ask one question for 2 marks, that is difference. One question 5 marks, that is the full wave rectifier. Okay, so they will ask this questions from the chapter semiconductor. And students, I will conclude with few notes, that is from current electricity, current electricity. Okay, moving charges and magnetism and semiconductor. Okay, you can expect 5 mark derivation. This is mandatory, it is compulsory asked from the chapter. See, whatever chapters we dealt with, the chapters what I have written now: current, electricity, moving charges and magnetism, semiconductor, you have one 5 mark derivation. It is compulsory asked. And for numericals, we have one problem for from current electricity and one problem for from alternating current. Okay, so for numericals, first deal with the chapter current electricity and alternating current. Two problem you can solve without any hesitation and fear. And if you deal with current electricity, moving charges and magnetism, semiconductor, three derivations you can write without any hesitation and fear. Got it? So these are the confirm areas where derivations and numericals asked. And for other numericals, first two chapters, they might ask what is that electric field? No, they might ask what is that the potential. Okay, so they might ask problem from those chapter, nor they might ask problem from nuclei. The probability is there. See, it is all we cannot assure you, but on the basis of past question paper, we can little bit we can guarantee you that from this area they might pick the problem. Okay, so my dear students, my humble suggestion to you is how to study. Now for me it's only physics, for you it's not only physics. You have even languages become subjects for you. At present there are 6 subjects. Okay, I recommend you to see first the previous question papers. So don't try to start with MCQ. You start with 5 marks. 5 marks are all repeated. See the problems. 5 mark ka problem. See which chapter they have asked, what they are expecting. So study, solve all the problems from the past question papers. Solve, study all the 5 mark questions almost repeated. Okay, every day if you study 2 derivations, at the end of the month you are going to study how many? 60 derivations. That many derivations are not there in my topics. Okay, every day you study 3 marks, 3 questions. At the end of the month you are going to study 93 mark question. That many are not there in my topic. Okay, so you see the past question paper, 3 mark section, 2 mark section, everything is repeated. Okay, now problem becomes when you start with the MCQ. MCQ they might ask from any corner. There is no restriction to there is no limitation. From any corner they might ask. Once you start with 5 marks, 3 marks, 2 marks, you will get confidence. And once you get confidence, automatically MCQ will fall in line. Okay, you will do well. So this is what my keynote to you, to everyone, those who are seriously studying for the examination. Thank you, students. Best of luck for your examination.